Hello everyone, I am back again with another bow tutorial. The last one we made this 4-looped bow, and today we're going to make a similar style with 4 loops, but it's going to have tails, so a little bit more jazzy. So today we're going to be working with this darker pink ribbon. We're also going to use scissors, a ruler if you want, a needle and thread, along with a hot glue gun. So we will clear off our workspace here and get started. So first I'm going to measure out how much ribbon I'm going to use initially. Sometimes I like to estimate, sometimes we measure. I'll probably use about 24 inches. You'll notice this edge is already cut. That's just from something else I was doing. So you don't need to pre-cut your edge there. It actually might make it more difficult when we get down to it. So I'm going to measure. So I have my ribbon all cut, and we'll just move our ruler out of the way and get going here. So just like with our last bow, we're going to make 4 loops, but this time we're going to leave a tail coming out the end. So we'll make 2 loops. So we have our 2 loops, which if you want to make a 2-loop tailed bow, you would stop here and cut about even with this side. But we want to make 4, so we're going to come back up, and then so we came up, and then we're going to come back down one more time. And you can see we kind of have 4 loops. They look a little funky, but we're going to fix that. We're going to make sure everything is looking good before we cut and glue. So this one looks a lot smaller to me. So to fix that, I'm just going to refold it all. So we're going to make 1 loop. Can't get a hold of my ribbon. 1 loop. Come and do your 2nd loop. Come up with your 3rd, and then come down with your 4th, and I kind of dropped that. Okay, so we have everything situated there to my satisfaction. So now we're going to take a needle and thread. Before we cut these ends, we'll save that till the end. So we'll pick it up, and we will come up through the center with our needle. So if you caught our last bow tutorial, then you'll know at this point we make like a little plus sign or an X just across the middle to make sure everything stays in its place. So there's my little plus sign. It does not need to be perfect at all. It's just to make sure that, see, I've got all these wonky threads, just to make sure that everything is staying where it's supposed to. So once you have your thread coming out the back, you're going to loop it around the front and bring your needle back through the middle to create this little loop around all the ribbon up top here. And then you're going to pull and scrunch it up. We've done the top, so now we're going to do the bottom where we bring the thread in between our tails here and then come back up and thread through the middle to create that loop. Now that our loop has been made, once again, we're going to pull it tight, and you can kind of see it scrunching up there in the middle. And then we're going to take the remaining thread and wrap it around the center, just like that, and pull. Now we're going to pull again to just get that scrunched even tighter. So pull, 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 and then we're going to take our needle and go right back down through the center to secure that. Once you've secured your ribbon, your thread and your ribbon and your bow, you can go ahead and tie a few knots on the back and then trim your thread off. So when you flip your bow over, you'll see that it is taking shape. So next, we're going to do our center, and there are 2 different center types you can do here. You can do just 1 piece. So you can do 1 piece where you wrap it around and pull everything super taut, kind of like that, or you can do the knot center, which we did last time. Since we just did a knot center, I think I might do the straight ribbon. So I've decided to do this type of center on this bow, so if you are interested in the knot center, you can find this tutorial both in the highlights on my Instagram and also on a blog post. So let's get started here. before we get going, I'm just going to trim this long tail off. We don't need that. Okay, so we're going to take our glue gun and do just a little dollop right on the back there and tack. So we have that tacked down on the back, and when you flip it over, it looks pretty blah. But we're going to make sure we have this going through both the tails, and we're going to pull it around and make sure you get your tails coming out the right way. Once you wrap your ribbon around, you're going to pull it as tight as you can, and you'll see it's kind of going to get these little scrunchies, which is what we want. We want this as tight as possible, and then you're going to just go and glue it on the back side. So once you've glued that down and pulled it as tight as you can just go ahead and trim that off, and then you'll see it's really taken shape now. Now the last step here is going to be to trim your ends, which this end actually ended up pretty perfect. So we're just going to trim this one to match. So once you've trimmed your ends, you can kind of fluff your loops a little bit and pull them if you need to, or do whatever, and there you have it, your cute little bow. So here are all the ones we've made in our fun little bow series. And just like with these top 3 bows, I will save these stories and I will put them up into a full blog post on the blog with a supply list.